There is a growing increase in youth violence in our communities and our school system today. I had the opportunity to sit down with Charles Robertson with the organization of True Blue. He discusses how he is meeting this issue head on.
Charlotte in the Know, hosted by Adrian Biddle, reporting on influential people, news, entertainment, and events pertaining to the city of Charlotte and nationally. Okay, Charlotte, it's time to be in the know.
Thank you for joining me today, fam, for Charlotte in the Know. I'm your host, Adrian Biddle. I always staying thirsty for knowledge and keeping Charlotte in the know. Let me give thanks to my sponsor, Urban Times. You can check them out at urbantmedia.com. You can also check them out on Facebook at Urban T Mag, as well as that Twitter at Urban T Mag, YouTube, Urban Times Media, Times spelled Tymes. As well as that, you can email them at urbantimes@hotmail.com. You can also check me out as well as sending emails to charlotteintheknow@gmail.com. Today, I am being joined by Mr. Charles Robertson. This brother has thrown the proverbial pebble in the lake, and the ripple effects are being felt in Charlotte. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing all right. Team Trublue is the name of the organization. It's a group of members that grew up together as children and reconnected as adults. It's geared at inner city kids that are going through struggles, whether it be dealing with violence, the need of mentoring, or the need of some community building so that we can rebuild a village. Our main purpose is to get these kids one kid at a time because too many kids are losing their lives. And often it's over something as little as $10. And, we have to grab these kids before they get to the point where they want to pick these pistols up so we can help curb some of this violence.
Absolutely. You mentioned on a Facebook video post about gang recruitment in our schools. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's growing and nobody's really paying attention to it. We have so many schools and our kids are being divided, but the recruiting is real heavy in the schools. You have schools like Mallard Creek, Garinger, West Charlotte, Harding, Hopewell, West Mac, and these are heavy recruiting grounds for these kids that want to get involved in gang activity. Everybody knows what's going on, but it seems as if they're all sitting back waiting for something to happen instead of being proactive. And as a result, here we are this year at 29 murders, and some of them have been kids as young as 14 to 15, whether it be the 14-year-old getting murdered or the 14-year-old being murdered. And that's a challenging thing to see Charlotte transform into.
Mr. Robertson, you also mentioned something about gunplay at Mallard Creek School on one of your Facebook posts that you were involved in. What happened with that?
We had one of the kids, my son, was a student at Mallard Creek, and during the summer, some of the kids got into some kind of altercation over something really petty. Yes, and the little boy told my son, "I'm coming to kill you." So I had to go to this kid's house because I talked to the school and I said, "Listen, I'm not going to bury my son." Absolutely. So I went to the kid's house and I was speaking to his parents, and I told his parents, your kid is in your house with a 12 gauge. And this parent just wasn't trying to hear, not my child. Everybody's saying, not my child. So I showed her the picture, and the picture just so happened to be standing in his bedroom with a 12 gauge, and his partner had it looked almost like a 50 cal, and that's a big gun. And I told her, I said, you are potentially going to have a shootout at your house because your child is telling me or telling my son he's coming to the house, and whoever gets killed gets killed.
So basically, the mother didn't even know anything about the guns. In addition to that, you were able to show her that he was being pictured with guns.
Absolutely. His mother, to be clear, the mother and the father were in the house, and his dad was supposed to be one of the anti-gang outreach ministers in Charlotte. And right at home, his son was, deeply involved in one of the gangs, and he never expected his child to be involved, but he wasn't paying attention. If he had simply went on Facebook and just followed his own son, he would have saw where his child was, on there with scarves and rags and showing pictures with guns. So these kids are want to be seen, and they don't quite understand the circumstances dealing with these murders until they get put in that situation. And the majority of them, they cry like babies because that's what they are. They can't handle when those handcuffs get on them and they get behind bars and they're sitting there. And it's a terrible thing to allow your child to get to that point, and that's a point almost of no return. It's a challenge that you got. It's so much of a hurdle for these kids to get past that point where they've killed someone or they have that felony. And we as a community, we need to be doing more to bring our kids up to speed. As to, look, this is what's going to happen. This is clear, and they're building more jails for you. So if you make a choice, people out here fighting to keep you out of prison, but you throwing rocks at a glass house. So you make a choice. If you want to go to prison, keep doing what you're doing. And I can't stand behind you if you be out here. You're the one that's out here bringing this craziness to our communities, and we try to fight the police officers to treat you right. We're trying to fight with the judges to make sure they don't sentence you as a grown man when you're a child, and then you still out here, robbing, killing, shooting, and for $20. I mean, what are you saying? What are you thinking? You're not thinking.
See, Mr. Robinson, this is why I like to follow you with your Facebook posts. I have two cousins that are teachers in the Mecklenburg County school system. You had mentioned on one of your Facebook posts that Hardin High School, as well as West Charlotte teachers are in fear because of guns in the school. This has been an issue, and it possibly could have an impact on the education of our children. Wouldn't you agree?
Here's something I was told. I was told by a person I absolutely trust. She said that a teacher tried to discipline a student, and the student met the teacher out by her car. The student then said, "You keep coming at me, I'm going to light this car up." Wow. This kid was not suspended. Then there's a parent whose child that I was talking to. He said, "Listen, I don't want to even fight at school. So while I'm being distracted with the bullying and the taunting, my teacher's afraid to say anything because there's nothing that they really can do. Because if the teachers suspend too many, some of us that don't understand why some of these kids are being suspended so often are fighting with those that are trying to keep the kids that want to sit in class, so there's a distraction. And I've talked to teachers at 4 schools, and all of them are saying the same thing. These kids are coming in with some mental issues or IEP plans. And so you have mixed classrooms, and the classrooms are already overwhelmed by size. And so how can you properly educate those that really want education when you have 5 people in your class that don't mind being distracted, and you have 5 that they won't suspend for whatever reason, and then you have a few kids that are just trying to go to school to make sure they get an education that are coming into the hostile environments. And as far as the guns on campus, what I was told was a lot of these kids are hiding their guns outside of campus. And so the kids know the ones that are carrying pistols to school. So they say, we're going to hide the tool when I get off the bus. What that means is I'm taking my gun out of my waist when I get off this bus, and I'm going to hide it in the woods outside of school. And so those kids are extremely dangerous, for one. Two, those kids are ready to fight. So, they feel like they have a little extra power because they know if I get into a fight, I got my pistol right here. I know you ain't going to do so much. So it kind of puts those other kids, it puts everybody in danger because bullets don't have eyes. And it also puts those other kids in a situation where they're going to school in fear because now if this kid touches me, I can't fight him back. If he assaults me, I can't defend myself. If he does something to me, the teacher's afraid of him. So I might as well just take it and go to class and try to make the best of him. Hope I don't catch him on a bad day. That's a challenging thing for our kids to go to school with.
Wow, it's such a different time from when we actually grew up and went to school. You had mentioned on another one of your Facebook posts that you are working with churches to open their doors to the youth. Can you actually expound on what they are doing for the youth and our kids in the community?
Absolutely. The church that I'm in, the core church, that started a program called I'm the Change, and we're actually looking for teens to get involved with that right now. I want to start with just 100. Okay. It's open up to everybody. But we started this program here at this location, 2300 Allegheny, so that kids can come out. It's a special program where one part of it, they'll be connected with a guy that's teaching the IT program. Yes, sir. It's actually a 6-month program. And then once they graduate from that program, he's positioning them to get employed with a job start at $70,000 a year. And it's going on right now. We're connected with groups that want to offer scholarships. So we had to reach out to figure out a way to get some more money because sometimes these kids get ready to go to college and just don't have the basic necessities to start school, which means they don't have blankets, pillows, soap, things we take for granted these kids need. And so we want to try to make sure we, have access to resources that fulfill those needs. Another thing, Ben Selling Church over off of Monroe Road, he's opening his doors up. He has an IT program. He has a program that deals with HVAC, where these kids can go and learn a trade. It's a trade school where they actually go and learn a trade, and they partner with the city to place these kids in jobs. Community Outreach has on Bruton Drive. That's I think it's 1800 Bruton Drive. They're in the process. They've partnered with Sony. My cousin is the vice chair with BMI, and what she's done is brought in Sony. And then before I left from over there, I connected with Live Nation, and they are rebuilding it. They put a computer lab on the top floor and the bottom floor. They'll have classes where the classes teach how to do the back end of show business, like how to do the engineering. And Sony has said they're backing for the first 5 years, and then she's backing it. She's partnered with it, BMI, and then Live Nation also came in and say we're gonna partner too. So those are 3 big corporations that's saying, okay, yeah, we're gonna get behind these kids. If you can teach them how to be able to hold a camera to do on a TV set, or how to sit up and run the engineering piece, we'll offer these kids employment. There's another church, Cosmopolitan, is being put together. That's going to be that's a youth center. And the thing that's significant about Cosmopolitan, back in the '60s, when young men and women got in trouble in school and got kicked out, where they couldn't go back to CMS, the only place for black students was this place here. Was the old Teamer building. Historically, that place was set out for African Americans, where they could continue their education and graduate and actually earn their diploma. Which was, a lot. Once they got thrown out of a few schools, that was it. Yes. So a lot of them want to afford education. If I made a mistake, but this place right here stayed open, and it's great. That's where our office is inside the location. So we're in the process of building that place. There's a lot of construction in all 4 locations. The one that's ready right now is the course IT program is ready, but we have a full studio upstairs that's being developed. But we have to have community volunteers to come in, so that we can work it. And that's the purpose of the walk. We got to identify people, places on different sides of Charlotte who are willing to connect. So that's one of the big things we're working on with the walk. The walk is about connecting the dots.
See, this is actually why I want our community to actually know the things that you are doing in the community to actually make the community as a whole better for Charlotte. I noticed that you had went as far as on Facebook Live and sat in on a mayoral debate with the candidates that are currently running for the mayor of Charlotte. What would you have the newly elect mayor of Charlotte to do to help our children in the community?
Prior to the debate, I had a chance to meet in Robert's office. I was invited to come to a program that she offered at Friendship Church to identify some areas where we could deal with OTS, out of school time. I haven't heard back any results. And it was 400 groups there. 400 nonprofit leaders were inside that one room, and I personally haven't heard back. I talked with Val, and really, because I know a few people that she knows down in Atlanta. I really don't know what she does or who she's connected with, and I just, for me personally, this didn't have anything to do with Team Trublue, but just for Charles Robinson. Yes. We have to have people in our communities that are actually boots on the ground. We can't deal with anyone else that simply looks like us, because Charlotte is 37% African American. We have a black police chief. We've had a black mayor. We have a majority black city council, and we have a majority black county commissioners. Our school boards is majority black. So I'm looking at folks that look like us, and I'm inside our schools. Now here's the thing: we haven't received $1 from anywhere. Yes. No grants. It's us doing basically on our own dime. Now we do have some partners that come in and say, okay, Charles, we'll help you meet some of your needs, but there's no grant. So everything we do, we pay for it, pretty much. I'm watching these leaders or candidates, and I haven't seen what they've done for our community. We have in Mecklenburg County, if you poll nationally, we rank saying that you're gonna stay poor pretty much. It is one of the most challenging places to come out of poverty. Why is that? We look at our schools. They came up with this K-8 program and stuck our kids in these K-8 programs, and they knew it wasn't going to work. It was failing from the beginning, and these years later, they just got to the point where they said, we're going to break this K-8 program situation up. Right? Yes. Okay. And I said, well, so you're failing me in school, but I can't really, the jobs really are not helping me. And then you think about infrastructure. They're saying, okay, we're going to build affordable housing. So I said, well, who does infrastructure? That's the city council. Okay, y'all do infrastructure. Affordable housing to them means $1,000 a month. Here's a basic question, basic mathematics. If these folks are making $10 an hour, how is it possible after they pay that $1,000 rent for them to eat, buy one pair of shoes? If they have 2 children, how do they pay daycare? How do they put gas in their car? How do they get a bus pass? You're driving, people of certain income to certain areas. Now let's think about what those areas are. Okay. If you do a basic crime report and say, well, where is the crime at? I'm willing to guarantee you within that crime circle, you can afford some houses that are really affordable housing. Now, why is it that you push all these people to certain areas if you look like me and I'm supposed to vote for you. So we have to be really careful in who we vote for because we don't need another person. I would rather take a person that will say, listen, I will try to address some of your needs than one that says, I got your back. And I know when they get behind that door, everything they doing is not for me. You know, so if the economy is bad in the areas or neighborhoods that look like me, or people look like me live in, those areas, recession. They've been in a recession. Life is a struggle, which is why we have so much crime. You know, so we don't have to put another person that's gonna get another report done. We have to have a person that's in action. Mr. Ford, I've talked around in the community. I've sat at 5 tables. One of the table had about 25 people, 25 leaders in the community. One had 10 nonprofits. The other had 6 nonprofits, 6 big nonprofits. And, you know, the report that I'm hearing on this man is challenging. So, you know, I really, you know, we kind of, you know, it's we have to vote, but we have to make sure that those that we vote for, that we hold them accountable. And we have to figure out which one of the 3 is going to best serve. And right now, to be honest, I don't have a clue because I haven't seen Roberts do anything. I haven't seen Val do anything. And I haven't, for me, and I haven't seen Joe show up. You know, so he may be a great guy. One of those 2 ladies may be great women, but I just can't say I'm standing behind either one of the 3. Not right now because, you know, I'm looking at what's been going on. You know, there's no accountability with the police officers. I'm seeing our neighborhood schools stay the same. Now they don't deal with the schools, but you got an influence. You have an influence in a lot of things. And so we've had events with 2,000 people show up. So if 2,000 people show up, where are you? You know, and I watch you go up and show up at a Halloween party. I popped at a Halloween party. Guess who's there? If you come to a Halloween party, come to an event that's building my community too. Show up. I need to see you. And I don't just need to see you when it's election time. Two of them, I know personally, I've been to so many different places, and I've never, outside of election time, I've never seen the front of your face or the back of your head.
So, Mr. Robertson, what can we do as a community of Charlotte to help with the movement?
We have sitting at a round table doing the strategic planning for the Walk the Block campaign. This is one place.
Yes.
We have so many groups that are active, but each group is lacking some of the resources. That means that if folk want to get involved, I'm not going to say one. Folks should get involved.
Yes.
You got to, if you're not with Trublue, Men of Destiny is out here, LOC is out here. Get involved.
Yes.
Because if you stay on the sidelines, you know, you're really not helping your community. And if you wait saying, well, it's really not my business, you hurting the community because it is your business.
Mr. Robinson, how can the people of Charlotte follow and also support your organization?
You can find me on Facebook under my name, Charles Robinson. You can go to Team Trublue, TeamTrublue. If you want to connect through Team Trublue. If you want to connect through I Am the Change, it's City Bridge Inc. Just inbox me on City Bridge Inc. I run the page, so it's real easy to find me there. And then on Sundays, you can always find me at the core church. You know, come fellowship with me if you want to stop by church. You know, stop by, and let's talk. I want to meet you. I want to see you because you know I need you to get involved. You know, in these communities, we got to have help in our communities. We have got to have men and women that love their neighbors, and the ones that can't come out and physically, be present. You know, by all means, we want to continue. We're going to continue, and to help us financially is will be a blessing, and we would appreciate that. But at the same time, I just want to see, so that we can sit down and talk about, and I want you to see how if you decide to partner with us with a donation, how that will be spent. It's nothing for me. It's all about these kids, and it's a lot of stuff that's on Facebook. Because we want to acknowledge our kids. We want to let everybody know we love our kids. Because that's ultimately that's what it's about. But it's a lot of personal stuff that goes on. That a lot of people don't know. And it's some challenges at times to meet those needs, based on where we are, out of our own pockets, because we also have our own families going, so, but we're gonna do everything we called to do to make sure our kids get nothing but the best, because that's all they deserve. They didn't ask to be here, regardless of what it looks like. Those children did not ask to come on this earth.
Absolutely. But there's nothing more worthier than actually taking care of our seeds, our family, and as well as more than important, the kids. So, Mr. Robinson, I want to thank you sincerely for taking out the time to actually speak upon Trublue and the things that you're involved in. And I look forward to actually working with you in the future as well. And I'm sure the community reaching out to you too.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you.